You're listening to By Design with Idia Sapphire and Santos Alberto. This question comes from Ivy. Ivy says, quick question. I'm a 3-6 manifesting generator with sacral authority, wait to respond strategy, and in the healing phase. Earlier this year, as I was going through my rebirth phase, I felt this massive urge to do something and to share my gifts to others. I started an Instagram account and website for this. Now I'm questioning if I should have just waited to respond for something to happen before I started anything. The pull was so strong that I couldn't ignore it. How do I begin to build a business by design? Oh, this is such a great question. It's such a great question. And there's a part of me that's jealous because I wish I had had the awareness to ask this question at some point in my journey, much sooner than I did, because it would have saved me so much time, so much headache, so much financial strife and challenge, and also like heartache and pain. So I'm going to answer this I'm going to riff on this, and I'm going to do my best to speak to this from a general lens and with all of the types, and then also speak specifically to this question as a 3-6 man gen. So when it comes to building a business by design, there are unique ways that each of us are designed to succeed in business. And there are different aspects to your design that can help to give you clues to understand, am I in the right business? Did I build this business in a way that's correct for me? Is this something that can actually take off and succeed in the best possible way? Or did I shoot myself in the foot somewhere along the way? Was this coming from a not self-orientation, etc.? One of the first things that you can look at is your type. Now, as a manifester, you're going to look to see, did my authority tell me to inform or initiate this thing? Was it aligned with my authority for me to inform these people about this or this offer, or to initiate creating this business, this offer, etc.? As a manifesting generator or a generator, were people coming towards me with a problem or a solution, the problem or desire that felt aligned with my authority, so either sacral, or your gut, your intuition, or your emotions, were people coming towards me with a problem or a desire that felt aligned with my authority for me to solve or provide. For a projector, was I invited and recognized to start this business, to be in this industry, to solve this problem, to fulfill this desire, to guide people in solving this problem or fulfilling this desire? And as a reflector, did I wait a lunar cycle, and was I initiated, invited, and or recognized by the people in my tribe or my community to help them, give them the reflections, the judgment, the wisdom, etc., to help them solve this problem or fulfill this desire? Now that's the basics, that's the foundations, right? Everything starts with type in human design and strategy and authority. If you didn't build the business by waiting to respond as a generator or a man gen to the people who are coming towards you, more than likely it's not going to work. I have a personal anecdote about that I'll share in a moment. If you didn't wait for the invitation as a projector and it wasn't aligned with your authority, the theme of what you're going to experience is the not self theme, which is of a projector, which is bitterness. As a reflector, if you didn't wait a lunar cycle and it wasn't in a community where you felt recognized and edified and invited and initiated into the work, your business in all regards will feel disappointing. As a manifester, if you didn't wait to inform and initiate people and align with your authority, you'll feel the not self theme of a manifester, anger. along with all the other themes that come through your undefined centers. So remember, in human design, you have the not self and you have the true self. Your true self is all that you were born to be. It's the version of you that is most abundant, most successful, the amount of money that you can make as your not self will never, ever, 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 ever compare to the amount of money that you can make as your true self. It is the version of you that is satisfied as a manifesting generator. It's the version of you that's at peace as a manifester. It's the version of you that is surprised and delighted as a reflector. It's the version of you that is successful and recognized as a projector. It's the version of you that feels worthy and whole and complete, like you have nothing to prove. It's the version of you that takes the time that it takes to get things done and knows that there's more than enough time for you to get done everything that you're here to get done and accomplish. It's the version of you that's open to lots of different ideas and inspiration and really calm and relaxed and rooted in your well-being and has a sense of identity, love, and direction that stems from within you and knows when enough is enough and can confront the truth of any situation. It's that version of you. That's your true self. The not self is everything that you've been conditioned to be. Everything that you're not. The bitter, angry, frustrated, disappointed, unworthy, burnt out, exhausted, anxious, adrenaline pumping, never knowing when enough is enough, avoiding the truth and confrontation, destroying your well-being, holding on to people and things that are totally wrong for you or way longer than they actually serve you, searching for love and identity and direction outside of yourself, desperately trying to get attention for your offers and your marketing and your conversions, whatever. Like that, pretending to be certain. Oh, yeah. No. We have everything figured out. No. Once we do this thing, then it'll all work and then we'll be free. No. I'm certain of it. No. It's going to work. I just know it's going to work. All of that is not self. And so if you're experiencing any of the not self themes in your business, there is a tendency, it's likely that you showed up in it in a way that wasn't in alignment with your strategy and authority. Or if you started it from a place that was in alignment with your strategy and authority, the activities that you're doing now and the way that you've been showing up aren't in alignment. That's the way to know, right? So those first questions that I pose to you are where I would start. Once you're clear on type in that sense, you can start to look at some of the deeper themes, like your profile. If you're an investigator, do you have a solid foundation in what you're sharing in your business? Whether that's through marketing, whether that's your offer, who you're serving, how you're helping. Because if you don't have a rock solid foundation in it, not gonna work. And this isn't to say that you can't make money being not self. Like obviously, we live in a not self world. There's so many people who have made so much money doing all kinds of things. I mean, there are people who make a lot of money arms dealing and human trafficking and doing all kinds of atrocities in our world. Like it's possible to make money through the not self. The question is really about how do you build a business by design? One that's sustainable, one that serves you and your tribe and the collective and the planet. One that helps to elevate you and everyone who comes into contact with your work, right? So if you're first sign you don't have a solid foundation, it's like you're dead in the water. In a way, like the foundation is everything. It's so important that you do not allow anyone to rush you when it comes to creating that foundation. You're a second line hermit. It's got to be your calling. If you're not called to that work, it's never going to work for you. And the thing too is that it doesn't have to be a perfect recipe and step by step, and it makes all kinds of sense. The nature of a hermit is to be naturally gifted, and so you may not necessarily recognize your gifts and your potential and your capacity. But you receive a call, whether it's internal, depending on the other part of your profile, or it's from your network or elsewhere. It must be your calling in order for it to really, really work for you. As a martyr, your business will thrive when it's rooted in your experiential wisdom. What you've learned works and doesn't work, who works and who doesn't work, based upon your experiential process, your lived experience. I know this because I've gone through it. been there, done there, got the t-shirt, built a business around it, and now other people can get the t-shirt too. That's your superpower as a martyr, your experiential wisdom. Knowing that it doesn't have to be that, oh, I had all this experience and it was perfect and it worked out. There's so much that you can give to people in teaching them what not to do, just as much as you can teach them what to do, or guide them, or share with them, or coach them, or whatever, provide them what to do. As an opportunist, this really comes down to your network. Are the people in your network coming towards you, inviting and recognizing you, initiating you? Are you informing and initiating the people in your network as a manifester? It all comes down to your network. That whole saying, your network is your net worth, it is ultimately and most true for someone who is an opportunist. You're a fifth line, you can do well with strangers. You're a sixth line without a fourth line in your profile. You're here to help the collective. You're here to externalize in a different way. You're a third line, people will bump into you. You're a first line, hey, it's all about your investigation. But if you have the fourth line, it's all about your network. If you're in the wrong network with the wrong people, and wrong, I'm not saying this in like right and wrong kind of hierarchy, but more so like incorrect. And you'll know that it's the incorrect network, or you're not solving the problem for the people in your network, because your strategy and authority will tell you. Whether or not you're feeling a not self theme or a true self theme will tell you. As a fifth line, is it a practical solution that you're providing? Are you externalizing in a very practical, universalized way? I'm a good example of this. I'm a fifth line. I share human design, but the way that I share it with you is through applying it to business, or applying it to feminine, or applying to relationships. I give you very concrete examples. I don't give you esoteric wisdom that it's like, here's in theory what it means to be a man. Even now, right? I'm demonstrating it in real time and applying human design to business, and applying it specifically to building a business by design based upon type, based upon profile, etc. So as a heretic, are you providing a practical solution to others? As a sixth line, have you role modeled what it is that you're sharing in your business, that you're offering, that you're teaching, that you're marketing? Because if you haven't done it, it's going to be really hard for the market to trust you about that, just based upon your design. So specifically speaking to a 3-6 manifesting generator, I would say, were people coming towards you? Are people coming towards you to help them solve a problem or fulfill a desire that feels like a gut yes for you because you have experiential wisdom around it, and you've role modeled the solution? You've role modeled being that identity, that dream outcome, or solving that problem because you solved it for yourself. That's going to be the key. Now, this can be a painful truth to swallow, right? Because I was listening to source content sometime after Sons and I had launched the By Design Co. and we had our Business by Design Accelerator. And in one of the audios, Ra, the guy who channeled human design, was talking about the fact that, man, he could be, in another life, he would be a bankruptcy attorney because of all the generators who just get an inspired thought and they run out and they create a business. And all the projectors who are out taking a sales job because that they initiated and that they went after. And both Santos and I were like, oh. Because that's exactly what I did when I left my corporate job. Nobody was coming towards me for copywriting and marketing and to be a messaging expert. They weren't. So that business that I had for the longest, like, yes, I got people amazing results. Yes, I got great referrals. Yes, I got incredible case studies. And I really built and cut my teeth on how to be a world-class marketer in any environment and any time. Like, the not self experience always gives you wisdom. It always supports you in moving forward as long as you can integrate the lessons. And yet, it would have been nice to not spend almost a decade and a not self business with not my clients and not making the kind of money that I could actually really make and not having the kind of impact that I'm here to have and not having the freedom that is actually my birthright. At San for Santos, he was literally taking sales calls for different people and like sales calls in our business when we first launched our funnels, and we had all kinds of people coming to us. We had so many sales calls, we would have to pause our Facebook ads funnel on a Friday. That way our books weren't filled up too much on a Monday and then turn it back on Monday. Like that's how much flow we had coming to our business, but it was all not self. So it was unsustainable. And it was exhausting, and it was frustrating, and led to burnout. And we were like, oh man, the audios are speaking right to us. Thank God we woke up. It's a painful pill to swallow. And at the same time, if you find yourself in that position where you're like, whoa, I guess I'm a generator and I did initiate this. Whoa, I guess I'm a projector and I wasn't invited to this. Whoa, I guess I'm a reflector and yeah, I don't have a tribe that initiated and invited and I didn't wait a lunar cycle around this. It actually doesn't feel aligned for me. Oh man, I'm a manifester and what authority? I didn't even know about authority. I didn't honor that. No wonder I feel so pissed off in my business all the time. The not self will try to beat you up about that too. And make it this whole thing and be like, oh, all this time I lost and all that, look at you. Ah. Don't do that. The way through is through profound self-compassion and self-love. It is through the waters of self-compassion that we deepen into our psychic gifts, our abilities, and the truth of who we're here to be, our spiritual sovereignty, your design, and how to actually build a business by design. It's through loving yourself and accepting yourself. It's through treating yourself like a child who's just learning for the first time and didn't know any better and saying, come here, baby. It's okay. I know. You can cry about it, and you can be angry about it, and you can journal about it, you can rage about it, and you can feel all the feels about it. And once you've done that, you take the lessons, knowing that all success in the material plane, the way you succeed in business in our 3D world, in this Maya, is through experiential wisdom. All of it carries the third line theme of the martyr, which is to be resilient, and it's to figure it out through trial and error, through experiential wisdom, knowing that there are no mistakes, there are only lessons learned. And that the things that you learn then become the foundation of what you're able to share with others. They become the conviction and the embodiment that you stand on when you do share your gifts, when you do share your magic, when you are in a business by design. And so the question to ask yourself, if you find yourself in this situation when you realize like, wow, this is a not self business with not self clients, no wonder I have not been getting conversions and attraction and results and growth and no wonder I've not been making money. God, this makes so much sense. Okay, what did this teach you? What can you learn from this? There are no mistakes. Knowing that there are no mistakes and that you can't get it wrong. There's only experiential wisdom, and that you can use this as a foundation, as a springing board for you to step into the business that is correct for you. That you can step into alignment in your business in a way that really supports you. That feels satisfying, that feels successful, that's full of recognition and peace and surprise and income and abundance and wealth and opportunities and impact and freedom. What can I learn from this? What does it have to teach me? Collect the lessons and the learnings. And specifically as a 3-6, it's so powerful because when you heal from everything that doesn't work out as a role model, you then externalize it. You share it. That becomes your power, that becomes your message, that becomes your gift. It doesn't mean that you then have to become a business coach because you like, oh man, I created a business that wasn't my true self and now I healed from that and so now I'm going to teach business. Not necessarily. It might be how it impacted your health. It might be what you had to learn about financial freedom and sovereignty and managing your funds that you end up teaching. It might be how to have emotional regulation and how to heal your body, or how to downregulate your nervous system and show up in a healthy, healed way based upon like pranayama and, yoga practices and building altars or any number of things, right? Whatever you role model becomes the wisdom that you're able to share. And as a martyr, you're designed to be very resilient. So you take the experiential wisdom and then you keep going. And then there's a nuance for generators and mangens because there can be this feeling of like, man, but then what do I do? Like I have this calling, it's so clear within me. You do what brings you satisfaction. If showing up on Instagram brings you satisfaction, you didn't do it because you're like, I gotta grow this business and I'm gonna make money and it's gonna all work and all the things that your not self mind thinks that it could do, would do, should do, and that it would succeed. And now you feel frustrated because nobody engages with the Instagram and no clients are coming and no money's coming. If you feel really satisfied being on Instagram and doing that, then keep it up. Because it's the fact that you're a generator or a mangen in satisfaction, it's the fact that you're living your signature regardless of your design that makes you an attractive force that makes people come towards you. And if you have this download, you have this thing in your heart, maybe you share it freely. And then people start coming towards you. And then that becomes something that you can actually respond to the market with. When you show up in this way with a business by design, it naturally eliminates one of the biggest problems that a lot of entrepreneurs face, which is leads and traffic and sales. Because a generator and a mangen who's in satisfaction, living their signature, you're a magnet. You easily and effortlessly attract people all the time. You've got to say no to people. You got to put up like barriers and things at times and just like, oh, okay, thank you so much. Nope, 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 nope. As a projector, you naturally receive invitations that are rooted in recognition. When you actually recognize yourself first and you're in a space of success and recognition. As a manifestor at peace, you inform and initiate, and people are so drawn to you. They show up for you. They're like, how do I be a part of what you're doing? Because you're so powerful and impactful. As a reflector, you're surprised. You wait a lunar cycle and people come to be around you. And it's like, oh, they love to be around you because you reflect surprise to them, not disappointment. So that is a natural antidote. That is a natural solution to low revenue, low conversion, low lead flow, etc. The not-self world tries to sell you that it's a funnel. It's ads. Just pay a little money and then throw it in the slot machine and then you can win. And I'm saying this as someone who came from an ads background. Like I've run ads successfully. I've built successful funnels. I know what's required in order to grow ad funnels and to do cold traffic. Because I've done it. I know how to do it. And I've done it for other brands and I've done it for my own brand. Like I've done it across different businesses and different industries. I know it's required. It's not the solution though. It's not the end all be all that you've been led to believe. Oh, just throw up on social and just create 100 pieces of content per day. Because when you're frustrated and you're a generator showing up there and you're frustrated creating your content, all people see is frustration. And people don't vibe with that. And it's like, oh, the algorithm. And then they complain about the algorithm. They're like, oh, the algorithm doesn't feed out my stuff. And it's like, well, I see your stuff. Ew, I don't want to be around this frustrated generator energy. Ooh. Then they have even fewer people seeing their stuff. Right? So as a mangen, you can feel really excited and lit up about something and feel like, wow, I think this is my thing. And then you sit with it and you pour yourself into the things that bring you satisfaction, even if it doesn't make logical sense. Even if everyone else tells you that you're crazy, even if it's like, wait, why would you do that? No, you need to do this, you need to do that. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. And you just stay in your satisfaction. And the people will naturally come towards you, bump into you to share your experiential wisdom and what you've role modeled as a 3-6. This was my experience, that while I was busy being a marketer and doing done-for-you marketing and running an agency and a team and different things like that, when I learned human design, I was just so fascinated by it. It had its hooks in me. It was just a vent for me. It was a similar way when I first found copy, and that I shared and I wrote copy and I would put it out in the world and people were like, can you teach me? They came towards me. They were like, teach me copy, teach me copy. And knowing what I know now, I probably would have had a business teaching people how to write copy in the beginning that would have maybe evolved into human design business, knowing what I know now. But I wasn't aware. And when you're in a not self orientation, you're deaf, blind, and dumb. You can't see any of the opportunities or any of the things literally right in front of your face. You just can't. It's the nature of the sickness of what it is to be not self. It's to be bound and gagged and blindfolded and with earplugs in. And the only way out is to live your strategy and authority and to change your orientation, because then that changes your perspective and it opens your mind up to everything that's around you that's actually correct for you. And the same thing happened for me with human design. Luckily, by the grace of God and the divine and all things that are in my favor and want me to win, human design came towards me. And I actually resisted it at first. I was like, I don't know what this human design thing is. I dove into it immediately. People were like, you should get a reading with Barb, who ended up becoming my teacher, because Barb is like the human design person in Austin. She's so wise. She's in her 70s. She's read thousands of charts, and she's a hermit and an opportunist, and she's got the channel, the genius to freak, and she says these magical things. I'm in love with Barbara. She's one of my favorite people in the world, powerful projector. But at the time I didn't know, and I was like, what is this human design thing? I'm not really going to pay for some session like this. I don't know. What am I going to get from it? It's not clear. And then it just kept coming towards me. You know, when like the universe gives you clues so often that you just can't ignore it. And I was like, okay. And I signed up for a program for Barbara after like 3 times in a row one December. I got back to back hit with Barbara and the universe. And I was like, all right. And then I started talking about human design and people, a friend of mine who's really, really powerful and magical. She heals people with essential oils, and she does like essential oil acupuncture and moves energy, is a powerful energy healer. And she was like, I think this is your thing. You should study this. And I was like, oh, okay. I just saw this. I found out that I have someone that I met at a dinner party, and she said that she talks to her every week for like family counseling, but I didn't know you could do that. And so I invited Barbara to teach, projector. She'd been studying human design for so long, and nobody had ever invited her to teach. And because of that, Barbara was able to start teaching and teach so many people. So the more you're your true self, it really, really helps to activate and support the true self in everyone else around you that you come into contact with as well. And you all rise together. That's how you're a rising tide that lifts all boats. But I didn't go into human design thinking, I'm going to be a human design reader and analyst, and people are going to call me the human design oracle, and I'm going to get so much money and so much fame. No, I was like, this thing explains me in a way that nothing else has. Wow. I've got to know this. Like, there's something here. It's going to help me. I don't know how. Investigator. My spidey senses are tingling. I just got to go into it. My emotions are saying yes. It doesn't make any logical sense for me to pay for these courses and to learn all this stuff. I was like, I don't care. It just feels so satisfying. I love investigating this. And then because I'm a heretic, I would go out and I'd be like, oh my gosh, human design, blah, 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 at dinner parties, at dance studios, at everywhere. I'd be at a dance studio and we'd be in between classes and I'd hear someone talking out loud about like, I'm going to go get a snack. I'm going to do something. And I think they must be a mental projector. Do you happen to know your birth time? And then I'd just collect their birth times. At conferences, I'd be at the most like deep direct response marketing full of bros. And like, it's like a party where there's all this liquor and people are just like hanging out and there's loud music. And I'd be in a corner pulling people's birth times. And like, there'd be a line of people waiting to get mini readings from me. This is how I do it. I literally met one of my best friends at a dinner table because she sat beside me and I happened to pull up her chart and I was like, oh, you're on the source wave, you're emotional, and just like gave her some keynotes and riffs about her design. And now Katie and I are best friends because I was just a generator a man gem feeling so satisfied, externalizing what I'd investigated. And because I was doing that, all the people around me, even though they'd known or heard about human design before, they were like, I heard about human design, but the way you explain it is like totally different. This is a thing. And then they started taking human design courses, and they started wanting to learn human design, and they started wanting to use human design, and they started paying attention to it. And then they started inviting me to speak on stages. And then I started getting in front of all kinds of entrepreneurs that I didn't have an audience with before, and people who are at 7-figure, 8-figure, different levels. And I'm like, wow, okay. And the whole time, because I was in a not self-orientation still, because I thought, money is one of the greatest conditioning forces on our plane. I thought, no, I'm a marketer. What does a human design reader make? Like $100 per an hour or something max? I just couldn't even fathom myself making more than my teacher, Barbara. She's read thousands of charts. I couldn't charge more than $150 an hour for that. That's not a thing. I wouldn't make a living doing that. Even though Barbara doesn't even make a living doing that. She's in real estate. There's no way. And people kept coming towards me, and then people begged me to pay me for it. And I was finally like, okay. The first reading I did, I was like, pay me afterwards if you find it valuable. And they did. And they paid me $300 for their relationship reading. And I thought, okay. And then a mentor was like, look, just throw up a page. You obviously enjoy it. And then if people come and they book with you, cool. And if not, then it's no biggie. It's no issue. And then I started getting organic traffic. And I said, okay, I'm going to do the first 10 people at 111. Because I didn't honor that. I was like, $111 doesn't really move the needle for me. I'm used to 20K, 30K packages out of the gate. First touch point of us working together. $111? No, that's like small time for me. And then people started coming, and I started collecting testimonials because I'm a marketer. And then the first handful of people, I was like, okay, it's booking up my schedule. I'm doubling my rates. And then I raised it to $297. And I had a beautiful coach, Christina. She's phenomenal at NLP. She's one of the most brilliant coaches that I've ever encountered. So life-changing. So grateful for her. One of the best people I ever encountered and worked with. And Christina Murata. And she says to me, as she saw me doing the 111 stuff, she was like, why are you charging that for this? You know you can charge $500 an hour for this. People love to learn about themselves. And I thought, but I can't charge more than my teacher. No. But very quickly, after enough people came to me at 111 and I collected all my testimonials, after every single call, I raised my rates to $297. When I raised my rates to $297, I thought, oh my gosh, can I really do this? I don't know. Maybe I should drop the price back down, and boop, someone booked immediately. And I thought, well, now I can't drop the price. That devalues it. So it was at $297. And that person came in, and I said, did you find it valuable? And they're like, this is amazing. Best money I ever spent. Wow, this is incredible. Yeah, I'm going to refer. I have like 3 or 4 people I'm going to refer to this to. Wow, and then I got enough people at $297. Then I doubled it again. I got it to $497. I thought, oh man, is anyone really going to find this valuable? This is at the top of the market at the time. $500 an hour for that? $800 for a relationship session for 90 minutes? Whoa. I don't know. And then people booked. And when they booked, they would rave about it. And they'd tell other people about it. And I thought, and I'd keep collecting the testimonials. And then from there, I charged $1,000 an hour. And I thought, I don't know, I'm just going to throw it up. I mean, I'm doing it now applied to business. Let's see, do people book the standard human design reading, or do they book the human design reading applied to business? And sure enough, when they had a choice between the two, they came in and they booked $1,000 an hour. And I thought, whoa. So I'm sharing this with you so that you see the journey of what it can look like to be in response, to live your design, to wait for the invitation, to wait to initiate and inform, to wait a lunar cycle. That so much of our homogenized wisdom around business is like adrenaline junkie. You got to go fast and scale to the moon. And if you're not a billionaire by the time you're 28, what are you even doing, loser? It's not true. It's not true. When you can surrender, every morning we wake up and we make it all up. We make up who we have to be. We make up what we have to eat. We make up what we have to do. I have to do my taxes. You choose to do them. You choose to do them because of all the ways that you fear about what could happen, etc., because you want to be a good, upstanding citizen, whatever. You choose to do that. Well, I have to nurture my audience, otherwise, no, you choose to nurture your audience. Because ideally, hopefully, you care enough about the people that you serve that you want to pour into them. And you want to help them have a transformation before and if money never exchanges hands. Because that's what it means to be a true fiduciary. That's what it means to really show up. That's what it means to be a leader who's here to have an impact. You choose to do those things. And we can recognize the choice in there. We can recognize that you have the opportunity every moment with every decision to choose being not self or choose to be true self. Well, in some ways, you have no choice. You either align with divine will or you don't. Either align with what's correct with you or you don't. And when you don't, you learn powerful lessons that help to reinforce you aligning with the truth of who you are next time. But it doesn't have to be the way that someone else says it has to be. It doesn't have to look the same way that someone else looks. In fact, it won't when you do it true self. That's the beauty and that's the power of it. And there's so many people who put it in your head, especially if you're not a manifestor, go out, make it happen, get it done. And even the manifestors, it's like, go out, make it happen, get it done, do it all by yourself. A one-man team, one-man army, let's go. Let's go. Make more offers, make more sales, go, 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 go. Wolf of Wall Street, pump your chest. That's one way to do it. And if that's correct for you, man, beat your chest like you're Tarzan in the jungle and just go. And if it's not correct for you, give yourself permission to honor what is. Knowing that the fastest way to get to where it is that you're trying to go, the fastest way to get to more freedom, more income, more impact, the fastest way to build a business by design, the fastest way to have raving, loyal fans, people who send you unsolicited testimonials, people who want to do everything that you put out, people who rave about you in rooms where you're not even present, is for you to be your true self, is for you to live your stride in authority, is for you to build a business by design. And when you can surrender what you think it has to look like, or what it could look like, or what it would look like, when you stop shooting all over yourself about what it should look like, and you open yourself up to the infinite possibility available to you in the quantum realm, you say, okay, show me. Use me as a vessel. Where are you guiding me today? And your authority says, we're going to do this. And you're like, okay, let's test it. Let's try it. And you do it and you feel so satisfied and it works and it keeps working and it keeps working and it keeps working. That's the gift. That's the power. That's sustainable. That's scalable. And then people will look at you and they'll come to you and they'll say, how in the world did you do this? Was it the funnel? Do you have a template? Do you have a website template that you can send me? Wow. Do you do this for other people? Can you create my funnel for me? Is there something I can copy? Maybe if I record voice notes and put them on podcast, then people will come to me and then I'll be successful and then I'll be free. And all the time, the secret ingredient was for you to be yourself. So may that serve you in understanding how to build a business by design, how to have compassion for yourself if you wake up and you recognize, whoa, this has been not self. To know that, okay, this is experiential wisdom. All success on the material plane comes from experiential wisdom, comes from trial and error, comes from figuring out what works, what doesn't, who works, who doesn't. Great, now that I know what doesn't work, what could, what does? What's my strategy and authority guiding me to? Okay, let me try it, let me test it, let me experiment with it, let me have fun with it. Oh wow, that's getting me amazing results. Okay, let me do more of that. Oh man, feeling not self-names. Okay, let me stop that. Okay, what is it that I'm doing? How is it that I'm showing up? How am I ignoring my strategy and authority? How am I trying to prove myself? How am I running off of pressure and anxiety and scarcity and allowing myself to lead from that place? What if it could be easy? What if it could be easeful? What if this is all happening for me? What then? What if I knew with certainty that it was going to work out in my favor? How would I show up today? What would bring me the most satisfaction? What would bring me the most peace? What would bring me the most surprise? How would I feel the most successful and recognized? Knowing that it might not be something that logically seems like it relates to the business. It might be like, yeah, let's go on a walk. Well, how's a walk going to help me? Trust it. Okay, you go on the walk. Oh, you feel so satisfied. Oh, okay. What next? Vacuum. How is vacuuming? I can't really do this. I'll never succeed if you're not self-mind. I'll have all kinds of things to say in the background. And you're like, thank you. I hear you. You just sit in the back seat. You're not the driver here. We're just going to do it. And then you vacuum and you're like, wow, I feel so peaceful in this environment. I feel so much peace. What do I do now? Take a nap. What? But I barely even done. Like, if I don't get on social and if I don't do these things, how am I ever going to succeed? You got to want it bad as you want to breathe. I hear you. Not self-mind. I hear you. Let's just take a nap and see how we feel afterwards. And then you'll get the next divine order. Then you'll get the next marching order. Then you'll get the next divine assignment. And you take a nap and you wake up feeling so rested and feeling so successful and recognized. And like, wow. I really recognize myself for this. And then you get the download of, hey, maybe I'm going to share this on social or write a post about this thing. All of a sudden it comes to you. And then you do it and you're so surprised by the overwhelmingly positive response that you get from it, from all these people who are like, tell me more, this is so amazing, yes. Or maybe one person shares it and you think, I feel good because I felt surprised doing it anyway. I'm so surprised by what a wonderful day that I've had. But that one person shares it, and then another person shares it, and another person sees it. And maybe one person only commented, but many people saw it. And they're telling other people, and then before you know it, oh, there's a call booked on your calendar. Or, oh, someone made a purchase. Or, oh, someone's in your DMs trying to work with you. And it wasn't the fact that you grinded your way there that did it. It's that you chose to trust your strategy and authority and show up true self. That changed everything for you. That you were no longer matter trying to change matter, being like that mythology where you're rolling the boulder uphill and your hands are bleeding and your feet are sliding and the rock is digging into your skin. No. You're like skipping up the hill and you're pausing for a lunch in the grass and you're smelling the wildflowers and oh my gosh, it's spring, but there are no allergies. Wow. And you're having so much fun. It's a gorgeous day and there's a cool breeze and you meet up with friends and it's lovely and it's wonderful and you're like, what an amazing life. I can't believe I get paid to do this. This is so amazing. This is so wonderful. And that just makes you want to share even more of the good news. You're like, other people have got to know about this. This is so good. I feel so good. And then more and more people get attracted to that. And before you know it, you've got a thriving business by design.